Matthews are making progress restoring power after back-to-back ice storms in the province. The utility company says more than 69,000 customers, though, remain in the dark. Hydro One says power has now been restored to over 95% of those affected. But with more than 2,200 broken poles and severe damage still being discovered, some areas like Orillia and Peterborough may not have full power restored until next week. Over 4,800 workers are continuing cleanup efforts, and Hydro One is also launching a recovery grant program tomorrow to help hard-hit communities rebuild. It's time now for our first look at the forecast. Let's check in with weather specialist Noor Rafat. Noor?
Hey, thanks very much, Nathaniel. Well, nice to see you after what was a dreary Saturday. At least we got some sunny breaks for Sunday. It wasn't wall-to-wall, but certainly a welcome change in the Toronto region. 6 degrees just now outside the Toronto airport. There's been a lot of wind, predominantly from the north, and that has kept those temperatures from climbing further, but also has added a bit of a chill to the air. It's 5 degrees in Peterborough, feeling cooler with those winds. 2 in Muskoka, 2 in North Bay, and in Wyerton as well. Nice to see a lot of people still enjoyed a lot of those sunny breaks, but not everyone, specifically around Lake Huron, the southern shores of Lake Ontario. We are seeing some rain, some wet snow the past little while, and that's part of a larger system that's wreaking havoc into southern and midwestern USA. We're talking at least 18 people dead thanks to torrential rainfall, tornadoes, flash flooding. The good news is that severe weather is going to remain well south of the border, but we've got our own weather problems to deal with. These weather advisories in place for 5 to 25 centimeters of snow as that system moves in tomorrow. So here we are. Let's take a closer look. A sunny but deceiving start to the day for many in southwestern all the way to eastern Ontario. And then that snow moves into the GTHA 4 or 5 o'clock with some rain starting to push to the east into the evening and some lingering bands Tuesday morning into Bancroft, Tweed, still heavy with that snow. Also some lake enhancement starting to play into that later into Tuesday, adding a little bit more accumulation for some communities. 6 degrees for that high in Toronto. Sunnier in the morning. It'll be windy through the course of the day, though, and the cold air will start to move in later on in the evening. Nate?
Thank you, Noor. At least Noor is here to tell us about the latest with the weather. And are things finally about to get better? Or I was talking to my sister and my nieces today. They still don't have power.
Yeah, up in Barrie, correct?
North of there, yeah.
Yes, no, it's been crazy with that recent ice storm. Of course, all eyes on the forecast, given what we've been through the past week. Let's say this, we don't have decent weather just yet. Still expecting some spring snow on the way. Let's take a look at how the rest of the week will shape up. Well, tomorrow that snow was not going to last all day in Toronto. In fact, it'll move by pretty quickly into the afternoon. Think 4, 5 o'clock potentially with some rain involved as well. A windy day, though. Gusting winds could reach 55 kilometers per hour, and a switch up in that wind direction later on in the evening will usher in some of that cold air, which you'll see the effect of quite well by Tuesday. We've been talking a lot about the cold air moving through, and don't worry, it's not just an Ontario thing. Quebec, the Maritimes will get a taste. Atlantic Canada as well. Not so much in western parts of the prairies. If you've got friends over there, they're not going to pick up any calls because it's summer, sunshine, a lot of beautiful conditions. Hopefully will start to trickle into eastern sections of the Maritimes as the week progresses. Here, a lot of that messy weather has been moving out on its way out of the Maritimes into Newfoundland. But more on the way, and you can see that snow pushing in by Monday, Tuesday into other parts of eastern Canada. So again, not just an Ontario thing, everyone will be getting a taste of that spring snow, and accumulations vary. Let's take a closer look here. So sunny, a lot of sunshine, as I mentioned, early in the morning for select communities. It's already snowing heavy in Sudbury by then. As the day progresses, it pushes through quite quickly the GTHA into Cottage Country, and later on in the east, by the evening hours, those bands lingering Tuesday morning, heavy still in areas like Bancroft, towards Ottawa as well. And here's that lake enhancement starting to kick in, bringing some more precipitation to Wyerton, Waterloo, southern parts of Georgian Bay as well. Wednesday, things start to dry up, but take a look at this. There's another system knocking on the door, and that could risk pushing in into Thursday with some mixed precipitation. So let's take a look at the first system for now. The heaviest total still expected around north northern Ontario, upwards of 30 centimeters in areas like Sudbury. The good news is it does look like work over there has been done by Hydro One. Things have been restored. Upwards of 6 centimeters or so towards the Owen Sound region could be possible. -3 in Ottawa, +8 in Milton tomorrow, 8 in Hamilton, +6 in Oshawa, and 8 degrees in Niagara Falls. Take a look at this. When the cold air settles in, Tuesday -1 for that high, feeling closer to -10 in Toronto. So make sure you bundle up. Things start to cool down Thursday again, 3 degrees with that messy weather, and then a warm up on the way. Friday, Saturday, still some showers. Sunday, 11 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud.
Are making progress restoring power after back-to-back ice storms in the province. Hydro One says more than 69,000 customers remain in the dark, though. The utility company says power has now been restored to over 95% of affected customers. But with more than 2,200 broken poles and severe damage still being discovered, some areas like Orillia and Peterborough may not have full power restored until next week. Over 4,800 workers are continuing cleanup efforts, and Hydro One is also launching a recovery grant program tomorrow to help hard-hit communities rebuild. So what kind of weather do we have in store for the days ahead? Here's weather specialist Noor Rafat to bring you those details. Hey, Noor.
Hey, thanks very much, Nathaniel. Well, hopefully those dry conditions today were a big help for those cleanup crews in order to be able to help out in restoring some of that power for those communities still affected. Although we are expecting some messy weather as early as tomorrow, and that could hinder some of these efforts yet again when it comes to restoration of that power. So we'll talk more about that in just a moment. A lot of gusty winds earlier today in Toronto and through large sections of southern, southwestern Ontario as well, keeping temperatures at bay and really keeping people on their toes, I would imagine, if you were outside, despite that sunshine. Now, it hasn't been dry the past few hours around the shores of Lake Huron, also the southern shores of Lake Ontario, and that's part of this larger, more severe system wreaking havoc into southern and midwestern USA. We're talking tornadoes and torrential flooding, torrential rain rather, flash flooding, killing at least 18 people in the past few days. The good news is the severe weather is going to remain south of the border, but we've got our own weather problems to deal with. 5 to 25 centimeters of snow could be possible, according to Environment Canada. With this system moving in tomorrow, our models show, though, it could be upwards of that amount. So Sudbury, North Bay, heavy snow tomorrow morning by 3 to 5 o'clock, pushing through the GTHA and continuing east as the day progresses. These bands linger into your Tuesday thanks to some lake enhancement, and that could mean added accumulations for areas around Georgian Bay. 0 degrees overnight tonight, -2 in London, Ontario. Tomorrow, a high of 6 degrees, but a lot of strong winds gusting up to 60 kilometers per hour, and that will make that daytime high feel closer to +2, overnight closer to -14. Nate?
Thank you, Noor. Hundreds of volunteers. Coming up, a historic time for a look at weather now with Noor Rafat. And do we finally have some good weather on the way?
It's going to be tough, Nathaniel. I know that's what you're hoping for. That's your problem.
Okay.
It's going to get quite interesting in the next few days, expecting a rush of cold air to take over central and eastern Canada, and that means colder temperatures on the way, but also a blast of spring snow to kick off your week.
Spring snow.
Well, not expecting that cold temperature to settle in just yet in Toronto tomorrow, but expecting to see at least some of that snow move in. 6 degrees for the high, but strong gusting winds, potentially up to 55 or 60 kilometers per hour. So that will make that high of 6 maybe feel closer to +2. And then as the evening progresses, a switch up in wind direction. Now that cold air moving in, and those temperatures will drop rapidly overnight, feeling closer to -14 as you head into Tuesday. Cold air has been a big story as we anticipate its arrival. And yes, it's not just an Ontario thing. Expected in Quebec and Atlantic Canada in the next few days. They will also see those temperatures drop, and along with that, a round of snow. So don't feel left out. I think other people that are feeling left out right around here. Winnipeg 2 degrees, but Calgary 18 degrees with some sunshine in other parts of southern Alberta and Saskatchewan. 22
degrees. You're talking about spring. Where is spring? They're already in summer. And yeah, things are looking good so far for them in the next couple of days. Don't expect 22 degree highs here anytime soon, but do expect some double digits in the next 7 days or so. So expecting some of that rain that you're seeing to transition to snow as those temperatures get colder. Here is that system moving in tomorrow, and yes, pushing through the east Tuesday into Wednesday as well. So by 3, 4 o'clock, really that afternoon commute, expect things to get messy in Toronto. Very brief. It's going to pass through quickly, and the problem areas are going to be areas like North Bay, Bancroft, around areas to the north of that, as well, as that's where you could see some of the snow lasts the longest around the border of Quebec as well. And here is that lake effect pushing through into Wyerton, Waterloo. Tuesday evening, you'll start to see those clouds break up, so some sunny breaks in the forecast. But guess what? As early as Wednesday, we're already looking at another system knocking on the door, and that will bring some messy conditions for your Thursday, potentially into your Friday as well in the Toronto region. Upwards of 30 centimeters could be possible in Sudbury, 28 in North Bay, and really trace, if at all, in the Toronto region as that system passes through very quickly, as I mentioned, into the afternoon. Temperatures will dip by Tuesday to a high of -1, feeling closer to -10, quite brutal. And then temperatures slowly on the climb, 3 degrees on Thursday with some mixed precipitation, rain for Friday and Saturday, finally seeing those double digits by Sunday.
You're watching